Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. In this episode, we want to show you an artwork that this artwork has been exhibited in different places, being published also in more than one catalog, and we hope that you will like it and enjoy it. The artwork also has a beautiful poetry in it, which is we also hope that we will be able to explain some of it. As you will know very well that this poetry is in Arabic, therefore I will try to explain as much as I can. Let us now look at the artwork first. The artwork is here in this catalog of mine, and that is the artwork. The artwork called The Dawn Break. The artwork called The Dawn Break, Ash-Shuruq. Now the poetry, which is really beautiful poetry, it has beautiful ideas in it, is based on Sultan Abdi, who is a very well-known poet, was advising his son. Now, the poetry is in this book, the book called Sharh Diwan Hamasat Abi Tamam, i.e. explanation of the Diwan, which means the book of poetry of Abi Tamam. Abi Tamam is one of the greatest Arab poets in the Abbasid time. So that's the thing. Let me find the poetry here, and we're talking about 6 or 7 lines of poetry. We can start by this. We can read it in Arabic very quickly and then try to explain it in English. Now, the Arabic reading says, أشاب الصغير وأفنى الكبير مر الغداة وكر العشي إذا هرمت ليلة يومها إذا ليلة هرمت يومها أتى بعد ذلك يوم فتي نروح ونغدو لحاجاتنا وحاجة من عاش لا تنقضي تموت مع المرء حاجاته وتبقى له حاجة ما بقي إذا قلت يوما لمن قد ترى أروني السرية أروك الغني. So that is the lines of poetry. I try to explain it. It says that the time of the human time on earth, i.e. any of us has a certain time, a few years to live and to have activities and to be creative and do whatever they want to do. But all that always going to be a limited time. So the poet is saying to him, to his own son, saying that you must understand that time is always going to be limited, and also time has also a nature that makes a person get old because of the time passing. So it means that when the time passes, the person gets old. And while the person gets old, he gets more unable to be as active as before. And therefore, it is important for anybody to use their time wisely and to be to understand the danger of time passing without achieving and doing any good things. And he says that, and he's giving examples by taking simple ideas of life and examples of what is happening between day and night when it comes to the awareness of human life on earth. That every night you spend is a small part of you, if you like, small part of you passed away. And he also tried to explain how we are engaged in this limited time because we need to do things for Allah to exist. We need to do things like, shall we say, we need to find food, we need to find rest, we need to find, shall we say, safety and tranquility and all that kind of thing. So that's the whole idea of the yes. And he says even after all these activities and all these hopes and all these trials of man, hard work to achieve, but nevertheless we always going, even when we die, we still feel that we need to finish something which we haven't finished before. So it means even to the moment of death, we still think that we need to finish something. So it means that the ability of us to be careful of using time in good deeds and good things is the wisest thing to be able to be done. Not to be able to be done, but to be done. And he says to him that there are people who, when always engaged and worried about money and wealth, the moment you say to them, show me the good people who really have a certain quality of humanity, and they will show you the first thing they think of is the wealthy man, instead of looking at the more deserving people who might not be wealthy, but they are good humans. They are good. They have got their good deeds good. Their intentions are good, and they are working very hard for that good end. The artwork has been exhibited in different places, and also now is being acquired by some gallery somewhere I think in Germany for the last, I think, 5 or 7 years, something like this. And of course, it has been exhibited. It has been printed and published a few times in different exhibitions. One of them is this exhibition, which is Ali Omar Ermes in Context in 2003 in London. So that is that. In this episode, we have a very short story, but it tells you a lot of humanity in it. And it goes back to the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the story says, let me try to read this story. Now, these stories talk about some person was with Sayyidatuna Aisha, the wife of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who gave freedom to one of her servants, a lady called Barira. And there was this man who was working also in that vicinity, who wants to get married to Barira. And he was going, begging her to marry him and crying and all that. But Barira didn't want to marry him. So Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet, went to his own uncle and asked his uncle Abbas to try with Barira to say to her, please look at this case and be generous and be kind to this person who wants to marry you. And he was crying all the day for that. Anyway, Abbas went to Barira and asked her that favor, if you want to call it. But anyway, she came back to the Prophet, Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and she asked him. She wouldn't want to get married to him, but if Sayyidina Muhammad will order her, if he orders her to marry him, then she will. i.e. what she is saying, if that become an order because of a religious necessity, then I will. But if it is because of him want to marry me and I'm not accepting. So that was the thing. The wisdom here in this point is that look at this. Even that Sayyidina Muhammad, the Prophet, was the most, shall we say, beloved person in the area in that time, and of course all over the time since then until now. And he has all that huge favor with people. Nobody, if somebody like Sayyidina Muhammad, say Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, come to ask him a favor, wouldn't do it for him. But this lady wasn't. This lady, if you call it, didn't budge. She doesn't want to do that. Doesn't matter what. If even the Prophet himself come to ask her to do this. And that tells you something else. The freedom. Tells you the freedom of decision. That this lady, who was a servant, who has no, if you like, power, or has no people defending her, if that is the case when it comes, shall we say, to clan or countries, whatever it is, she was able to reject because she was totally free. She was totally free to make her own mind and totally free to make her decision and to reject, if you like, the opinion of the society around her. Now that is one thing. The other thing is, show the freedom is being given by a Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his family and his people around him to this lady to do that without any hitch, without any hesitation, without any threat. He was asking her that favor for this poor man who was crying all the time to get married to her. She didn't want, and that's that. She was free, and that's it. And hopefully this short story tells you what quality of freedom that generation had in that time of critical time of the prophecy of Allah, of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There is a small wise saying, a very small wise saying, a very small book, and it is unusual type of saying, but anyway, it makes a lot of sense. Now, this wise saying says, politics is the art of looking for trouble, finding it, misdiagnosing it, and then misapplying it the wrong remedies. Let us try to understand it again. It's easy to, it is easy to look at it again, hopefully. Politics is the art of looking for trouble. So that is politics. Now, the next part of politics is finding it. After they try to find it, then they find it. The moment they find it, misdiagnose it, i.e. looking at its problems wrongly and from wrong sides, and trying to find solutions, the wrong solutions for it, and then misapplying the wrong remedies. And because all these problems need remedies, the politicians will find the wrong remedies for all these politics. So that's the wise saying here, and it makes a lot of sense, I'm sure, in so many ways. I'm not saying that the whole politics of the whole world is like that at the whole time, but in so much of the time. Now, the last point is we have a Muslim scientist, very well known Muslim scientist. Let me see, find out where his name is. Where is he? This scientist, Muslim scientist, one of those old Arab scientists called Al-Karhi. Now, the Al-Karhi came from a region on the shores of the Tigris, of the river Tigris in Baghdad. That's why it's called Al-Karhi, because he's part of that. And he was one of the most important mathematicians in those times, who shown so much when it comes to maths. And of course, there's a lot of books which is written about his achievement and his work, like, shall we say, part of that book. And of course, also other books like this. And apart from the very well-known history book, or the book of, what do you call it? The Introduction to the History of Science, Volume 1, and the name of things like this. And of course, another book which is to do with the science and Muslims in science here in this book. So it means that the idea is of introducing this sciences to in this episode is to help, shall we say, realize that the role of the Islamic science when it comes to achievement of the scientific achievement of today, and also to be as fair as possible to them and to others, of course. We always appreciate what science is doing for us and the people who works in science. We hope that this episode gave you some useful thoughts and ideas and information. We hope that you will be able to enjoy it, and also if you come back to us with the questions, or and if you like, of course, the episode, please share it with others and subscribe to it. And thank you very much indeed, and see you later.